Well, hello there, boys, girls, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whoever you are doing it to. It's Bushka on Blitz here with another Platoon boom session. A bit of an all-star cast today. We have 48-ton Ruckus rounding things out in the fourth game, but before that we have HM Lee _ Sniper, Aegon and Storm Ricochet, a couple of clanmates there, as well as Talaric, I believe. Might be 5 games. Yeah, 3 clanmates there. So should be a bit of fun. A bit of housekeeping. You can always catch up with me on the Asian server forums, the North American server forums. I've got a small footprint there and an even smaller footprint on the European server forums. Follow at Bushka and Blitz on Twitter, and likewise, there's now a PayPal link in the top of the header there if you do feel so inclined to show a physical manifestation of your love and support. But there is no impetus on you whatsoever. I'll keep churning them out, whatever the case may be. We're here on Copperfield. I'm with Aegon. He's gone flank. I've stayed top because the 2 IS-8s here look to be severely outmatched by the enemy IS-7, T-32, Jagdpanzer E-100 trio. And I really just want to put a few shots in, like I did on that T-32 there, to make them realise there's a little bit of resistance here and they can't just wallop through unopposed. My main issue is speed in this game. We're going to have a real tough time of it. They will realise sooner rather than later and just march up on us here, because these 2 IS-8s do not look like they're doing anything particularly valuable, and they moved very, very slowly on the start. And even with that in mind, if they were doing the right thing, they're right up against it with a couple of big tier 10s there and a lot of firepower. So we're focusing fire on the flank to try and help them out. The IS-7 is going to come up on my right here. Aegon's doing his level best out there. But as you can see here, the time has come, as the Walrus said, and we have no choice. We've got to start getting involved with this IS-7 and the rest of the mob up the top. We get a fantastic shot here on the enemy Object 140 Orca Rabbit. You don't often squeeze them through gaps like that. But be that as it may, the guys up the top are getting smashed to bits and not doing much in terms of returning fire. And we are going to have to take the not much looked forward to step of getting off the pot and heading down to middle, because everyone has collapsed on the high side, and it's basically now me and Aig versus 4 tanks. Thanks very much for coming, guys. So we're going to go down middle, and this is where you're going to see a little bit of medium teamwork. I'm going to take on Orca Rabbit and eventually the T-32 down here. Aegon is going to do likewise. But what we're really doing that's key here, even though we're low hit points, and I duff a shot here against Orca in the Object 140, straight into the track. He misses his, thank God. We're going to go to opposite sides of the map. What that's going to do is it's going to allow us to have flanks, and the enemy's going to be stuck in the middle. So it's now 3 on 2, this T-32, but I've got him on DPM. All I've got to do is hopefully dodge a shot, or at least make him turn and slow down his rate of fire while we don't slow ours down. And then we're going to need, be even Stevens, 2 on 2, and that's going to be a lot better. Aegon's up there ducking and weaving as we speak. We've gone from 2-4 to 2-2. Aegon's got those 2 guys. The Yag's going to look at me. The IS-7's going to be looking at Aeg. And what's going to happen is they're going to be trapped in between. And Aegon's going to get shots in the back of this Jagdpanzer E-100 while I just draw fire. And I will eventually get shots into the back of the IS-7 as well. Really important thing to do when you're in platoon is to utilize the flanks. If you're in a situation where you are outnumbered, at least make it a situation where you can give supporting fire to each other. And you can see Aegon there has knocked off that Jagdpanzer E-100. And then I'm going to move forward while he actually holds that IS-7, and I'll get a nice little shot into the back of the IS-7 if I eventually take my time and make the shot count. And I'll finish off his dinner as well. Great work there, Aig. Lovely to have a platoon mate you can rely on. The rock in a hard place. We're going to move onwards and upwards though, and I think the next game could well be a little Comet run. Yes, here we go. One of the first maps I had on Oasis Palms, if not the first. With Storm Talaric here. He's in the church, the Black Prince. I'm just pushing out onto this flank. Now, I've got a fairly good view range with this tank, 260 view range on a Comet. I've started running optics, so we're always spotting it up out here. And what I'm also going to do here, and something you'll note, is the Comet has 12 degrees of gun depression, which is huge in terms of gun depression. I want to make sure that I'm always firing off this hillside here. So this poor old German medium, I believe it's a VK, is really going to struggle to get gun depression down to bare. Man, you'll see when he gets hammered at the end. It's because he makes the mistake of going high. And we're just spotting him up, killing time, waiting for my platoon mate to turn up. I could probably take this guy pretty comfortably one-on-one, but there is no point wasting hit points in this game because you're going to usually need them at the end. And I'm of the mind to have more hit points than less. Just playing with this hill here, making the gun depression work, always using hull down. Just putting shots in, beating him on reloads. And eventually he gets frustrated and he wants to go high, and there is no gun depression there for my friend, the VK3002M. And he is going to get nailed before he actually gets his gun down to bear. Great map this. I love Oasis Palms 2.0. I know I did the review for Wargaming and it was a huge success, and thanks very much guys for keeping an eye on that on channel. And you can see here, look at the gun depression on this tank. A lovely, lovely hill fighter. Just to make sure, even if he is AFK, we're going through that front drive wheel. He won't be able to move. But this tank just suits these kind of maps with these undulating dunes. Look at it. Sitting on top of a hill, no problems. Onwards and upwards. 4 on 5, but I'm pretty confident here. We've both got a lot of hit points, and I've got a very strong platoon mate. And we're just going to work these angles, work this little bit of love here, work the Comet's DPM. You can hear the chants there from the mosque. I love this map. I think they've done a really good job with this. Just moving backwards and forwards, using the wall in front of us. It's a great strong point. They've moved our wall down though, but it's cost him a shot. And we're going to now use our platoon mate here. Now, if you pay attention, that's a big, strong platoon mate. We're just going to stay behind him and use him to soak up some fire and bounce some shots while we move backwards and forwards using the DPM on the Comet. There we go. And now we're going to flank a little bit, opposite fields of view and opposite fields of fire, much like you saw with Aegon V in the previous map. We're just working together, always making sure that we have multiple fields of fire available. Now Tal's here, he's in the heavy, I'm in the medium. I think he's going to reset the cap with the HE, and I'm going to roll across to the other side. There you go, Tal resets it, too easy, and now we've got him in a crossfire. And you can see the DPM on this little tank, it's such a wonder. I think this could be the most overpowered tank in the game in terms of tier 7. It absolutely pumps out the damage. And it's so mobile and so manoeuvrable. And this map, what a gem. They've done such a great job. There's a little bit of something for everyone. They've tried to bring us to the table with the cap there. Tal's done a good job. Reset the cap. This IS wants to get involved. We're just going to poke him out a little bit. Leave him be. Draw him. While that's happening, still putting shots in the enemy. Go down and make him work for it. We're going to go down in the waddy here, the dry riverbed. Bit of global warming. The IS doesn't have the gun depression to do much to me there, so we're pretty safe and sound where we are there. Tal's still got my back. Just drawing him out. There we go. Bounce one off the top of the turret. Really frustrating for the poor old IS. He knows he can't expose himself too much, but he doesn't have the gun depression. I'm bringing him out for my platoon mate. I'm happy to leave him there. Tal's got my back. Safe as houses. He doesn't have the hit points to really push now, and it's a 4-on-2 situation. Always good to have solid teamwork in these situations, boys and girls. IS did his best, but unfortunately just wasn't quite enough versus a couple of blokes. And we finish it all off with a good look at that KV as he goes down. So there you go, Oasis Palms 2.0. I wanted to feature a video from that map in this little platoon boom because I think it's a fantastic map, and you can see there it's got a little bit of something for everyone. You've got the flanks where the mediums can party, you go into a town, there's a bit of cover, there's high rocks there, that mosque is a strong point. This one is really interesting. I've looked at this map, one enemy medium. So I'm going to pump the gas, get straight across there, spot as many as I possibly can, and storm Ricochet. Jimmy's going to follow on with me saying no. Yag, yeah, I know, mate. I promise to God I am not going to go in YOLO. There we go, we get the spots. We know where they are. Now we begin to set it up for the rest of the game. So we've spotted them up, caught them from actually going out and pushing into that flank as they were all moving towards doing, and given the rest of the team a look at where their team is. Jimmy's going to come up and join me here. Ricochet's going to come up and join me. He's attacking the 215B. I'm just looking for opportunities, not rushing. Great tank, this Leo. Really fantastic gun. Great speed, as you saw there. Just lining them up. Making sure we do. And this hill here is a real godsend. Anyone that wants to push up has to expose themselves to fire from behind from my team, who remain mostly unspotted because we haven't let anyone leak out and get to this flank on the desert. We were really strong there, and their medium didn't have the nuts and the minerals to get moving forward. And I wouldn't either. There's 3 enemy mediums here. You'd have to think that that's always going to turn the tide. We've all moved up, and look, we've got a little clan going on here. 4 blokes hiding behind the dunes, pumping into their flanks. Go, you good thing. Yeah, really lovely, strong position this. Not letting them have their way at all. And I've now got a whole lot of help here, so I'm feeling very comfortable, very confident. And there's their medium. You can hear elbow playing in the background. That's my main squeeze at the moment. Whenever I'm playing, I've generally got elbow rolling. Nice bit of sound from Manchester there. Oh, look at this. What to do, what to do. Still an even Stevens game, but we've got map control. This is a huge part of this map for me. More than most maps in the game, map control is just absolute dynamite here. Now, we've made a bit of an error there. We've pushed forward a little bit. He spotted us up. That's okay. We get a couple of shots in the side. And we're facing our enemy now. We're down in the bottom of that hollow. He doesn't have shots into us. There we go. This poor bugger, that FV215B, he was the only forward-moving tank for them, and he copped a flogging for it from all over. We've got about 4 shots into him, in the turret and in the sides. Here we go. The pattern's done as well now, so things have gone from bad to worse. They've given up map control. They let us go forward as much as we wanted. No one moved out to us. There was a moment there where they could have pushed that flank, where I was just a lone spotter, and they would have taken fire from behind, but it could well have been the move that made the game. They didn't take it. That moment passed, and they let us move forward as much as we wanted. Now, Rico's right up on this flank. It's being aggressive, but it's all right. We've got spots. You see that T-34. Yeah, put one in the underside of the train. Well done, Bushka. You're a genius. That was amazing. But I know he's there, and I'm doubting that he's moved. That's right, there he's still there. We are going to put fire into this bloke until he moves or he's dead. Ricochet's moving up forward. They're all now stuck down in that little corner. We've got good effective fire coming from all sides. They're pinned and they know it. And this T-34 is now dusted as well. The only thing standing between us and final victory is that IS-7. And he won't be long for this world. He's in a really awkward position. He's got fire coming from his front, fire coming from his flanks, and he can't deny all options at once. So unfortunately for him, we've seen the moment. We're moving forward. And just time to tidy up the Yag now. He's not done a lot wrong, the old Yag Panzer E100. Not very mobile. Not a lot he could do this game, but you can see when you've got a couple of mediums working in unison here with big DPM, 2800 DPM on this Leo, that kind of speed. Yeah, it's all over bar the shouting. Fortune favours the brave in this instance, boys and girls. A bit of map control, a bit of love, a couple of Leos, lots of sniping, lots of potential. Big damage output, and that's another solid platoon boom game from the boys at the Metal Storm Clan. Good work, Rico. Good to have you along for that one. Spotter's medal there. That's what we love on that map. Bit of a snipe, bit of a Confederate, second class, and just over 4k damage. Another 7.5k carry from the old platoon. Oh, God. I love the elbow, mate. This is my main squeeze at the moment. Here we are with HM Lee _ sniper. Flanking shallow, I tell him to follow me. That's where we're going. We're blowing engine boost. I've had a look at the teams. It's a tier 8 game, but I'm not perturbed. The Comet is one hell of a tank. It's got the DPM of a tier 9 T54. It's literally 80 hit points of DPM shy of the tier 9 T54. This is the kind of tank, if you get in a one-on-one with a Leo PTA, you have more DPM with him, you blow adrenaline, you're a really good chance of penning that guy every time, and if he is not full hit point, you'll get him. Their Comet's flanking aggressively down on the left, but he's been caught out, no real fault of his. Been a bit aggressive, but we've just all been aggressive too as a unit, and it's left him in the lurch. He's been left alone. There's a couple of Cromwells up above, you'll see in a sec. I think one Cromwell might be a T43 the other game, or a KB13 the other tank. But they haven't pushed down, and they've given us the opportunity to really seal the deal here. HM Lee's coming up with me. A couple of Comets just doing their best. We're going to flank deep here. Now, you might have noted in my how to medium guide, I'm a big fan of flanking deep here because you'll let other people snipe and spot for you at the windmill. You come down here, you deal with whoever is in the respawn, and you do so first and foremost. I hadn't seen people spotted, so I knew there was tanks down here. No one was spotted up at that windmill. The Cromwell's done first. And this is really good aggressive gameplay. And you can see both of us pumping damage in here. It doesn't matter. There was actually 2 Cromwells. I lose track sometimes with all these games. HM Lee, we're now moving up, but we don't have to move up to the point where we are spotted. We are just looking for targets. There's not much on offer though, so I'm going to go a bit higher and see if I can't use the optics on the Comet to... Actually, I don't think I'm running optics at the moment. I'm running Vert Stabilizer in this game, which is probably why I can't see. And we've unfortunately missed the boat there. If we had been a touch earlier, we might well have got all those spots and shots in the unprotected back. But we're going to have to push the issue here. Now that T29 should be first and foremost. We're going to go high and use the gun depression again. Look at the gun depression on this tank. Don't have to expose a lot of ourselves, and we're back over that hill. Very fast rate of fire, very good gun depression. The T29 never knew what hit him, and the T32 is now our next target. Now we don't have the penetration values to get through the front of the T32. Even with APCR, he's a little bit tough for us. Only that lower glacis in the drive wheel. So we'll hit the T34 there instead. A much easier proposition for us with the APCR values the Comet runs. And you can see he is in all sorts. Licorice all sorts for you, T34. He's finally got one into us, but you can see the speed of this gun. The reload, the damage is absolutely extraordinary. Only the T32 left in front of us. We smash his track up so he can't move anywhere, and the ISU 152 does the rest. Whew. What a tank. If you haven't got a Comet in your garage, there is really no excuse for it. It should be one of the first tanks you want to get at Tier 7. I think my win rate in the Comet's about 70%. That's good for 97th on server at the moment. It's an absolute bomb of a tank. There's people out there running this thing in plats all the time, doing very, very serious business. Another 3k plus game on that tank is nothing out of the ordinary. Now, Ruckus and I are out in the flank on the right. Now, this isn't really a map where I do much that's very positive at all. The star of this show is going to be 48 Ton. The wee lad from WA picks up the sticks and runs with it here. But we're moving on the right side of the map, doing all the right kind of things. I'm in the E50, one of my favourite tanks. After this, I actually went and started driving my M46 Patton again. And boy, was I wrong about that tank. I never gave it a lot of love, but I was absolutely in the wrong on that case. It's a great tank, and there's going to be a review of it coming up in the very near future. But let's leave the future for the future and just wonder at the moment here, savor the moment here. I'd love to be sniping across those guys, but they've moved forward past the cap circle, and I still don't know what's ahead of us here. at the southern area of the map. So I'm very, very loath to move left and start sniping back towards that cap area there, exposing the wafer thin sides of this E50. Wondering when the hell I'm going to find a tank to fight. Here we go. There's the scent. Now he has bailed up in the top. Great shot there by me. Now, the smooth move here would be to leave him the hell alone. There's two tanks there. Just bugger off and not fight him in this situation. But I don't know whether it's frustration or just every once in a while you're allowed to be an idiot, but I absolutely don't. Now we get shots in the side of the J Panther 2, but that's 7 Mark 1. He's got the L7A1. He's not using the low-end gun, and he is making an absolute mockery of any attempt I've got of drawing a shot out. I'm hoping I can just draw a shot and then have a crack, but he's smart enough. He's hitting and then moving back his hull down. So what's a man to do? Well, my platoon mate should be fixing him up shortly. Here comes Ruckus. He's seen the options. He's going to go up there and shift him. But while Ruckus is up there, you can see he exposes himself, and unfortunately someone else gives him a little bit of a touch up there. There's plenty of other tanks from the enemy around. We're now down 5 tanks to 3. We've not even really been in the game. We've got 1 hit in so far. Ruckus gets 1 in and cops 1 back. Time to move. 1 into the lower glaciers. That scent. He's a real pain in the arse, that kid. Really hard to dislodge. You get those games where guys get in positions like this, and normally they're not that effective. But when the rest of your team is folded so readily, they can really slow you up to the point where it affects the outcome of the game a great deal. We eventually get rid of that 7 Mark 1 and we move forward. Now this is the big error for me. See that VK over there? He's on the other side of the train tracks, and he's actually on that little bit of elevated space. Now I've taken shots on the right to get there, and because of the nature of his tank, he's got that rear mounted turret. He gets a lot of gun depression if he sits it right up the top over the sides. I'm trying to put shots into this KV4 without exposing myself, but I'm really, really worried that Ruckus is going to get screwed by the other tanks around us. I've faced up the ISA, and of all the things, the bloody KV4 decides to start shooting me. You're not reading the script, KV4. You're meant to be still trying to go to Ruckus, but you bugger, you shot me. I've just taken a lot of fire for not a lot of opportunities to shoot back. I'm still facing this ISA. It's now 3 each, so we've evened things up a touch. But this VK has got me pinned. I can't really show my noggin too easily. Missed that. 2 over the right side, 1 to my left. If he comes out, I'm going to be in licorice all sorts. And you can see there, he's not forgotten about me at all. I'm really combat ineffective here. I've pinned myself in a terrible spot. I wanted to come forward and help Ruckus with that KV4, but he needed no help. What I should have been doing is actually either flanking all the way hard into their respawn and taking them out, or just sitting back behind Ruckus and using the gun on this E50 to actually nail him. But what I've done instead is put myself in an absolutely terrible position. And this is what happens when you drive into the middle of the map with tanks on either flank. My intentions were good, but unfortunately the intentions being good doesn't save me from the fact that I'm in a terrible spot. Now Ruckus is pushing that flanky solo. I don't have the hit points to take a hit and move out and do much of anything. I'm just hoping that I get a chance to help out and put a shot in, and there we go. The scent shows his head. The VK is not paying enough attention, and we get across, and we're hopeful of nailing this next one. Got him. Now 2 on 1, but while I've been doing that, the VK, God bless his little cotton socks, has decided to roll forward, and I'm an easy one shot here for this kid. In the hollow, I think he's loaded up a little bit of the heat, and it goes straight through the side, nails me. Now Ruckus is well in trouble. Under half hit points on the VK. Go 48, weave the magic. Bang. He's now a one shot and he's yet to do any damage, but he's soon going to put pay to that. Just traversing. Really exciting stuff, this. Wouldn't think he's a chance. Gets the engine shot. Now this is interesting. The VK backs up, does the right thing, so Ruckus can no longer get round him. But because of the rear-mounted gun and the lack of forward gun depression, when Ruckus ducks down here, the VK can't depress the gun far enough to get the shot. And you can see there, he's now pointing right down. Should be a kill shot. Bouncy, bouncy. Come on, 48. Come on. Can't believe he missed that lower glacier shot. The pattern has terrible pen numbers as well. You've got to be firing APCR. So here we are, each one-on-one. Mano and Mano. 48 versus the VK of Justice who hammered Bushka. Lots of time left on the clock. 45 seconds. One shot will do it. Who can shoot? Can you shoot, Ruckus? Can you what? That's right. Big carry, boys. 4 kills in the M46 pattern. Nailed the last couple and a massive 6,619 damage game. Look at that, 2,100 for me. Not another member over 1,000 points. Huge big carry. You can see that was a pretty successful run with Ruckus. Things tend to be a successful run when you're talking about a 74% win rate guy. Great way to finish Platoon Boom. Thanks very much for having me, boys and girls. As always, don't forget to follow on Twitter. I've just released the T44 Ras and Roll Kill Steal video. We're going to have an M46 pattern review coming up very soon. There's a tribute to Hull Down Rockfield, which tier 8, 9 and 10 no longer see. Look, I've got all kinds of content coming your way. No official wargaming stuff, probably for another wee while yet. So you're going to have to suck it up and just deal with Bushka on Blitz on his own. I've been Bushka, you've been yourselves, you've been bloody wonderful. Stay safe on the battlefield.